Marhaba, and welcome to the Matrix Green Pill, where real people connect.
Hello, and welcome back to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. This is part 2 of our conversation with Priti Malik, the gossip queen of UAE and the co-host of Virgin Radio Dubai. If you missed part 1, make sure to tune in to our episode from last week. So we would love to jump right back into all the very interesting questions that we have prepared for you. So I want to touch on you're very outspoken about positivity and staying positive. How do you stay positive and bubbly every day despite having to be up so early?
I think my main aim in life just to spread the word of kindness. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be this happy-go-lucky kind of person all the time, but I do think that in the world that we live in, it's so important to have that positive outlook and to smile. Just smile. Even if you're faking that smile, eventually it's going to become real. Do I have days where I don't feel like smiling or I'm crying because I'm missing my family back home or something else has happened that's made me very upset or I'm angry? 150%. But I need to follow my own kind of motto and mantra to kind of turn things around. When I see that little Insta family that I've created and I see what's going on there, it makes me happy. It makes me smile. And that's kind of what keeps me going. So it's kind of like a little cycle. And I have to say, when we get into the studio, where the way that we greet each other in the morning is like, hey, morning. And then when the mics turn on, it's like a whole different story. Like it just instantly puts you in a better mood. When we talk to our callers who call in to tell us about their lives and what's going on, instantly changes our mood. So I guess that comes with having the passion at work. Like it's not just work, it's fun for me. So I think that helps as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I do wonder, does it ever get exhaustive to always be this positive person? Do you feel like you have to keep that up because of who you are and your job?
I think we do get exhausted mentally and physically, but let's say I'm absolutely exhausted, but there's someone who comes up to me who listens to the show. I have to remember that they listen to our station, they're a fan of our station, and I'm representing the station at that moment in time. And if I react poorly to that interaction, that is a bad representation of my station, my work. And I have to be mindful of that. On another turn, is it exhaustive to constantly be positive? Yes. And I will call out if something has made me upset. For example, I had done a live this week and someone went on the live and wrote a comment saying, "You look really tired. What's wrong?" And I'm always an advocate for comments like that. Like there's no need to tell someone you look tired. You look like you put on weight. You look like you lost.
Right. If you don't have anything nice to say.
I understand the intention is coming from a good place. You're concerned about me. I had a lot of energy at that time. And I was like, I'm going to jump on live and see what everyone's doing. And then for someone to turn around and say, hey, you look really tired. What's wrong? It's just, why would you say that to me? But I will say that. I'll be like, guys, there's no need to say something like that to someone. It's unnecessary. And then I just kind of blurted out and I was like, yeah, I look tired because I've been up since 3:30 in the morning. What do you want me to do? This is what you're going to get. I have dark circles. I have this. I have that. This is it. I have lots of energy. Take it or leave it. And then it kind of flips around. So I think being real is a huge part and a huge responsibility for anyone on social media. So I am real. And yes, I am exhausted all the time.
Do you feel any sort of pressure to keep up a certain image or to try and appear positive, especially on your digital life or on social media? Is there that pressure?
No, because I am very honest when it's not happy. If something's not going right, I'll say it. I think the point of social media is, for me, is an insight into my life. When you click on my page, you get a snapshot of what's happening in my life. Will I share every single grievance? No, because that's annoying. Will I try to keep it as positive as I can? Of course. But if I'm having a day I'm going to say I'm having a day that's, like I'm not going to lie to you about it. So I don't feel that pressure. Definitely not.
And actually, I was going to talk to you about the whole era of digital and social media, because surely you've had a lot of experience with different types of situations that many women have to deal with. So what kind of tips could you give young girls and women out there about how to deal with social media? As in, how much of your private life should be shared, how to deal with trolls, and how to not fall under the spell of unrealistic beauty standards that we see online?
First of all, how much to share? I feel like for young girls, there is a pressure to share every single detail of what's going on in your life, and you need to make your day exciting to share on social media. I would like to tell those young women and maybe older women who feel the same pressure, that's not what social media is. Social media is documenting what's happening already. You should not be planning your outing to document on social media, if that makes any sense of what I'm trying to say. You don't need to go kayaking and hiking and then off to a fancy dinner and spend loads of money in order to show on social media. No. If I'm sitting at home all day, I am telling you I'm sitting at home all day. But that's that. That's normal. That's life. That's what everyone does. Do not believe everything that you see on social media. There's a lot of things that are fake, and there's editing apps, and there's Facetune, and you can make waist tinier and lips bigger and wrinkles disappear and all these different things. Like, there's just so many things that are not real. As far as sharing and stuff like that goes, do what you're comfortable with. There's no mandate that says you must be on social media. I think if I wasn't doing what I did, would I post that often? Probably not. I was just not doing my radio job, not doing this job. I don't think I would post as much. I would definitely follow a lot of people, but I don't think I would post that much. So I think just be mindful of that. And to other women out there, actually to anyone who uses social media, I would just say, be careful, kind of going back to what I was saying before, be mindful of what you're commenting and the kind of messages that you're sending to people before you send it. Would you say this to someone's face in person? Just be mindful of that. I mean, be mindful of spreading negative messages and things like that. And if it gets too much for you, get rid of it. Take it out of your life. There are plenty of people that I know who don't use social media because they know it negatively affects their mental health state. Don't be afraid to do that.
That's really great advice. Thank you. Just from your point of view as someone in the limelight, right? How did you decide for yourself, okay, this is what I'm going to keep private for myself and Jeff, and these are certain things that I'm going to be sharing? Do you have some sort of agreement with him as well? Because I know that some people overshare about their relationships and it can get messy. So kind of what's your take on that?
So I think for Jeff, it was a lot harder for him to be comfortable with being on camera so often. He's a very shy person initially. He's quite the life of the party, but initially he's not that extrovert type of person. Like, I can go and dance in the middle of the street with 15 cameras on me and I'll be fine. But for him, that's not a situation that he enjoys being in. And I think for us, it did take a little while for him to get comfortable with me doing things and understanding why I always kind of whip my phone out, or if I'm on my camera, if I'm filming something or if I'm taking photos for something. And it was a point of contention. Like it did cause an argument here and there between us just because he didn't quite understand that part of the job. But now I think he understands it quite well. Like if I say, hey, I got to shoot something, he's very much on board with it. And there's no real conversation about it. It's like, okay, well, when do you want to do it? How do you want to do it? It's more so like that. Again, like there's so much pressure to be like this perfect couple, right? Hashtag couple goals and all that stuff. Don't feel the pressure to do all that stuff just for the social. I will do stuff with him. There's plenty of stuff that he says no to. Just be aware of that. For every one video that he does with me or one photo that he takes with me, there's like 15, 20 things that he has shot down and said, I am not doing it. So just be knowing of that.
But that's still very nice of him to take that into consideration, that yes, that is part of the job for you. And I think it's important for couples to find their middle ground and work on what's comfortable for both parties. And then sometimes I feel the problem with hashtag relationship goals is that everything that doesn't fall under that is somehow not a good relationship, even though that might not be the case at all. So yeah, I think that's definitely an important thing to consider, especially for young couples. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's a good fact to know about you.
I want to talk about the possible strains of fame that you have thanks to the show. So it's often people find that making good, trustworthy friends can be quite a task for the average person. And to add on top of it, being in a position of fame and influence, would you say it was harder for you to meet people with the right intentions?
I was very lucky in that, right? When I moved to Dubai, I had family that was already here and had grown up here. So they introduced me to some of their friends. And I instantly had a connection with that group of people. And they're still my very close friends from literally the second day that I landed in Dubai. That definitely keeps me grounded as well because they've seen my journey and they've gone on that journey with me. Secondly, Kris is literally my brother. He's one of my best friends. Because we're the same and we do the same job, we get each other so well that it doesn't matter everything else that's happening. To me, he's just Kris. And to him, I'm just Priti. And that's that. I think that helps as well. And it's just having a good network of friends. I met all my friends that I still talk to, most of them, before I even got onto the Kris Fade Show. That made a huge, huge difference.
And how does Jeff kind of deal with your celebrity status?
I think initially it was a bit strange probably for him. As I said, he's a little bit more introverted than I am. As I said, like the photos and things like that, but he's super appreciative of it. He sometimes gives me flack for it, which is fine. That's what you want. You want give and take in a relationship. Or he'll be like, hey, did you know 3 girls hit on me while I was DJing? And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. We have that relationship. He gets it. People listen to the show. They like the show and they want to talk about the show if they see me out and about. And he appreciates that. So I appreciate that from him, I guess.
That's pretty insightful.
Yeah. And it's such a positive way to look at things. I always wonder how people in the limelight and deal with fame, because you always hear about these celebrity couples that don't last. And it's always, it's the industry.
By the way, we are not on that scale at all. Like we are just Priti and Jeff. But I think knowing celebrities and interacting with them and etc. When they say it's the industry, it's really difficult because you don't have a normal set life, if that makes any sense. The only constant that we have is our show 6 to 10 in the morning. That is the thing that stays the same. Everything that happens after 10 a.m. is a different day every day. An interview may pop up and you and your partner were meant to go on a dinner that you had planned for weeks, but you have to cancel last minute because this interview came up and this is the only time that the interview can be done. You have to fly out somewhere last minute because it's part of a promotion that you need to be a part of. And that was the only weekend that you guys were going to go somewhere. It happens. You have to really have tough skin in that sense and be really accommodating and understanding. And it goes both ways because Jeff is a DJ, right? I have to be okay with the fact that on the weekends, he's working and I'm not. He's got to fly around the world before the pandemic for weddings and gigs and things like that. And I just kind of have to deal with it. I think that's what happens when they say the industry really affects the relationship, because it can, because it's very, very unpredictable.
Now I want to dive into a bit of a different topic. So we've had another radio host, she's a radio host veteran now, that you might know as well, Malvika Verdun. So she, like you, was also on radio for a long time, but then decided to retire her career and step into entrepreneurship. So I guess I want to know, do you see yourself stepping into the world of entrepreneurship?
No.
May I ask why?
I don't know. I've never really thought of that. I've never really thought of that. This is honestly, truly what I have always just wanted to do. I've been doing it since I was 17. I understand that, you heard me say earlier that I was thinking about law, but that wasn't a serious thing. I knew I couldn't make it through law school. I knew that from the beginning. It was not going to happen. There's nothing else that I can picture myself doing. I truly love this job. The day that I wake up and I don't love it anymore is the day that I'm going to have to think about something else. I literally love what I do. When that mic is on, when I'm on the mic at an event, when I'm in front of a crowd, I love it. There's no other way to describe it.
And if you look at the qualities that you've displayed, especially in the earlier half of your life, it was pretty much like an entrepreneur, right? You took a lot of initiative, got a lot of gigs, you got what you wanted. So I think the passion is there and it's just a matter of you channeling that, or, maybe we may soon see something in the same industry by Priti Malik. So keep your fingers crossed.
As they say, never say never. You should never say never because you just can't predict the future. You don't know what's going to happen. But right now, I just truly love what I do. And unless I truly love whatever that next thing is, I don't see myself throwing hours upon hours and creating it.
And I guess I couldn't let you go without asking about your famous tagline. So what was the birthing process of Peace Out Home Fries?
Okay, so Peace Out Home Fries is a phrase from New York City. I don't know where it originated from, but it's just something that's said in New York. And it just means bye. Like your home fries, like your buddy, like your bro, like your homie. It just means bye.
Okay. And last question for you, Priti. What is next for Priti? Any exciting future plans that you're working on?
I got nothing for you. Exciting plans. So we've just moved houses. So it's just setting up and doing that. And that's really about it. Just doing my job, doing the job that I love, entertaining the UAE, and hopefully people wherever you listen to the show around the world. And that's really about it. I'm going to do what I love.
Excellent. Well, okay. It was so nice to get to know you on that level. And thank you for answering all of our questions. But we've actually got more. We've come to the segment of our show where we will ask you a few rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. What is your all-time favorite shower song?
Ooh, it's Backstreet Boys. Anything Backstreet.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Terrible. Okay. And what's your favorite dance style?
Bhangra.
Okay, I should have guessed that.
Your favorite staycation in the UAE?
We just recently went to the Waldorf Astoria in Ras Al Khaimah for Jeff's birthday. And I was like over the moon. It was just beautiful. Loved it there.
Where do you think Man United will finish this season? First, second, or third?
Babe, where will Man United finish this season? First, second, or third? He says second, so I'm going to go with second.
And your favorite food joint?
Here?
Yeah.
Depends what cuisine. I'm very indecisive.
Give us three.
So, okay, first of all, I'm just going to give you things I love. I love Mangalore buns. So, Venus. Love me some pizza. So, Pinza's great pizza. Russo's is great pizza. Love that. See, like my list is going to go on and on. Burgers. Love pickles. Love high joints. I'm just going to start naming every single restaurant that I eat from there. I love Din Tai Fung. There's just so many places I love. Like I love Home Bakery for dessert, Sugarholic for cakes. I just love food.
Okay, so fill in the blank. If I had to live without blank, I wouldn't be able to survive.
Pizza.
I thought you were going to say Jeff. Okay, you sound like a true New Yorker.
So what is the one thing you do every day, no matter how busy you are?
Pray.
And I thought you were going to say coffee vibes. So, but that's nice to know.
That's only on the weekend.
Excellent stuff.
Thank you for playing along.
Of course.
And now, just before we wrap up, we would like to do our green pill moment. So, Priti, what green pill advice would you give to your younger self?
That it will all be worth it in the end. So in university, in college in the States, you're only allowed to take a maximum of 6 classes. And that's the max. Like you're supposed to take 5, but you get special permission for 6 classes. So I was doing 6 classes, working on the radio station, doing a breakfast show. So that means I was up still in college at 3:30 in the morning. There's a trend here. And doing the show, taking 6 classes. I was on 2 dance teams in 2 different universities, my university and a different university, and I was captain of one of them. And I was working on top of that because somebody's got to pay the bills, and doing an internship at the same time. So my university life was not what you think a typical American college life is. I was just working and studying, really just trying to get through it. I ended up graduating early, and I was like, man, I hope I make it because this is a lot. But I would tell myself that it's going to be worth it. And that it's going to be okay. And that as you get older, you have a different view of yourself. And what happens when you're a teen is not the be all end all.
That's really, really great advice to everyone, I think, who still might be in university. Just today, had a conversation with my younger sister about her future because she has 1 more year in university. And I told her it's so much more than that. All this free time that you get in the summer, you're never going to have that again. So use it wisely. And that's something that I wish someone told me because I feel I could have done a lot more during my university life. I think that's a really great point you made.
That's great advice that you gave your sister for sure.
Ozzy, you're not as old as you sound, yeah?
I know, but I mean, I'm still older than her, so it's fine.
She's wise beyond her years.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Priti. It was so nice to get to talk to you and hear your story from you. And I listen to you guys in the morning, and you really do make my day, and you make me laugh, and you make time during terrible traffic pass so much faster. So definitely love what you guys are doing. And I'm sure a lot of people will continue to be inspired by you and your story and the daily dose of Priti on radio.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun talking to you guys. I hope I didn't chew your ear off with all the talking.
Not at all.
We loved it.
Not at all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And just before we say goodbye, do you have a specific social media handle that you would like people to follow you on?
I am at Priti Malik everywhere. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere. I'm Priti Malik. So you can find me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.